Welcome to week 8, friends. This is my week 8 Artist Way recap video. This has been quite a week. Better than last. Last week was very heavy. This week, I'll say I got a better hold of it. So my morning pages at this point are ritual. It's by default the first thing I go do when I wake up. I make myself some tea and I get straight into my morning pages. My artist date this week, I don't know why this concept stresses me out. And I'm not gonna say I didn't do it, but I told myself no too many times. So I had a lot of artist moments, not really whole dates. However, I went to the gun range and had a phenomenal time. I think at this point in my life and in this location in my life, I'm into astrocartography and I live on my Mars line. So I realized that I have to channel that energy, that aggression. I have to keep moving to stay sane. And I'm realizing more and more that it's not just yoga and meditation and even dance at times that brings me back into equilibrium. I'm finding that I need to box. I want to shoot a gun. The energy is just a little more pointed, a little more aggressive. It needs to be let off. And in the vein of energy and using it, I did a short video basically about me quickly transforming negative energy into something creative. I wanted to pop in really quickly. I started the day at the gun range, which was really cool, and the day has since taken a turn. As I observe Ramadan, I'm trying not to let things consume my feelings. I am trying to process more, center myself more, as I have been with this process. But anywho, I just got very frustrated with someone and their dismissive nature. And after they left my space, I was feeling anxiety. I was feeling it in my chest. And I channeled that into poetry for the first time in probably a decade. It just came out. It just came out. And then I took it a step further and opened my voice notes and I recited it. And if anybody knows me, I am not a fan of reciting my poetry aloud. It's not my jam. But I did it, and it actually sounds pretty good, and I'll probably pair it with a visual of sorts for an honest short. I'm just happy that I moved the energy very quickly, and that's on period, okay? And that's on period. So I am about to go hang out with a friend. I was supposed to have like a painting artist date today, but I just decided to go a different direction. I think I need a little bit of community today. I'm no longer returning to sender. No, I'm transmuting that energy and I'm using it for all of my abundance. So I am observing Ramadan for the second time, and not necessarily in the traditional sense. I am not a Muslim. However, I am surrounded by many reverts. So I am observing in solidarity, and also just me as a person. I like to fast with the turn of the season, so this just aligns. And I've been having daydreams and dreams about doing something for 40 days and 40 nights, and then Ramadan came. So it's day 3 today. The fasting feels good. I have more energy, more vigor. It's honestly a beautiful way to start the week, because I'm not spending time worrying about what to eat and food consumption during the day. I have so much more time to create. So I've had these artist moments in time. And with that, you know what came back to me this week, baby? I've been on my home pole every day for the past few days. And not just in a quick passing, like I'm on the way to the bathroom, let me swing around and hit on. No, I'm actually dancing, actually conditioning. And it feels so good. And since I started pole dancing, it has unlocked this like juiciness in my body, and it makes me want to move more. In a previous Artist Way video, I was explaining when my yoga practice is consistent, I'm more likely to dance. But I neglected to mention that pole is OG Bay, and pole is what actually got me in tune for real with my sensuality and my femininity. I was textbook tomboy prior to that journey, and it freed me in so many ways and continues to. So while I am very rusty, it wasn't half bad, honestly. I still have my bracket grip, I still can invert, I still can climb, I can handle myself a wee bit on spin pole, so I'm happy about that. What other moments did I have? Let's refer to the notebook. The gun range was so fun. So I got my second lesson in gun safety, and I was able to play with a 38. I got to shoot a Glock, and I got to shoot a semi-automatic shotgun. And my first couple of shots were with the Glock from just 5 yards, and your girl is actually a shot. So it was just like headshot, 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 headshot. 7 yards, gave it another go, no misses. And then the person that was training me wanted me to shoot the shotgun. And I admit I was nervous because I thought that it would have some kickback on my shoulder. But baby, that thing was clean. I was able to hit the target at 50 yards with the shotgun. I shot him in a artery in the leg, 2 shots to the dick, and a headshot or 2. And you can tell which holes were from the shotguns because those are those clean circles, not the ones that are kind of like ripped and torn. But I was very proud of myself. I only missed once, and that was really just me getting accustomed to holding it. So now I want to work on speed, and I want to keep going because so long as I'm in the US, I just feel like I'm going to need this skill. Yeah. Synchronicities this week. I will say a synchronicity was Ramadan aligning with my desire to commit to something for 40 days and 40 nights. And also with that, in addition to the fasting, and I'll say praying, but I don't pray necessarily 5 times a day. One of the prayer times I'm journaling, one of the prayer times I'm stretching, one of the prayer times I'm meditating. I'm making sure that I'm making regular deposits into my spirit throughout the day. But with that 40-day goal, I realized I have to tie something creative to that. Like, what is something that I can do every day to get me to my goals, to help me strengthen a muscle? I'm doing my 3 morning pages a day. What if I did 3 script pages? There's this feature that I outlined a couple of weeks ago that I haven't touched again. And I'm like, if I do 3 pages a day for the next 40 days, that is 120 pages. That is a complete feature. This will be my first written feature film. It's a challenge. I have written a 70-page pilot, but I haven't written a feature, which is a longer form film format that needs to conclude at the end, right? Versus TV pilots, which need to be ongoing stories, things that can go on for a season or 2 or 3 or 4 or 7. It's just a different approach, but I just want to build the muscle. I just want to make the deposit into myself every day towards something that matters every day. I want to write every day, shoot something every day, okay? Another synchronicity, I've been finding nonstop composers, Black composers that are interested in scoring films or plays, etc. I've been finding many of them, and I've been kind of scared to reach out. I don't know why. I think it's just the virtual effects kind of lagging a bit that makes me not want to send somebody an incomplete project, but I think I'm just going to bite the bullet today and reach out to these people and get that rolling because we have set an April 1st deadline for the completion of this proof of concept for Black Magic, and I have to hold us to that. And as the producer, co-director, creator, I have to move the needle. So were there any issues significant to my recovery this week? This apartment, this court situation, all up in the way. Can't breathe. I am still itchy. I have permanent bags under my eyes from this and yeah, I'm just ready for it to be done. Balancing Ramadan and my energy management, right? Because when you're fasting throughout the day, I start mornings off very energetic, but I start lagging around like 2, 3, 4 p.m. because I'm up around 5 a.m. at the latest, right? So yeah, I've been kind of reneging on myself because I had planned a few extensive artist dates this week, but I made excuses. I am not even going to lie to myself. I made excuses. I was supposed to go to a painting class on Saturday, but the class started 30 minutes after the time to break fast. And I'm like, I can't not eat and go to this 3-hour class. So I didn't go. And another day I was like, I'm going to go to the botanical gardens. I think that would be really nice, beautiful, and it's free because goddamn, life is expensive right now. But I didn't go to the botanical gardens. I think I made the excuse that it was too cold that day, or I think I found the painting class and decided, okay, I'm going to do that instead. There's so much anxiety surrounding these dates, and I'm just faking on myself. So I'm grateful for the artistic moments that I get throughout my week, and I'm going to honor those because they do count. Also, I don't like to give money this much power, but our whole financial system is changing. And last week, I want to say like $440 trillion got taken out of the stock market. So the whole market was red. Everything was down. I lost money. I was foolish and didn't take profits on a trade when it was up, being greedy, waiting for it to do more. And that's when that market crash happened. And then it rolled over right on into the crypto industry. So that portfolio was shot down. Luckily, I've been long holding some of this shit for a while, so I'm used to the fluctuations and I just wrote it out. But I ain't gonna lie, the nerve surrounding that, and with Trump and all of this crypto reserve madness and Bitcoin folks versus the XRP army, everybody thinks the other is going to get rug pulled. But my whole thing is the whole purpose of decentralized currency was to take out the middleman. And here we are inviting Uncle Sam right back into the mix because yesterday, $330 trillion got pumped into the crypto market. And who has money like that? You know, those are not regular retail consumers like you and I. These are big boys. So if they have the ability to impact the market in that way, they can rug pull. They do that so everybody gets excited, and regular retail traders get excited to get in because they see things green and see things moving. And then those same people that put in those trillions of dollars take theirs out, and they take your profits with them, you know? So it just doesn't make sense. And even having a crypto reserve, the government having a crypto reserve, that to me, that also gives them the power to rug pull from the people. So while I have invested in some of the government coins, I still find it very important that we invest in decentralized currency because it's exactly what Bitcoin was supposed to be. There's still a lot of coins in the hands of the people. I just have concerns. Life is also very expensive here, and I'm trying not to pull from any of these places, especially with the apartment building playing, because we're putting out money for tests and lawyers and XYZ. So pray for your girl. I also went to visit my storage unit and started clearing things out. I was having this kind of crisis in the storage unit because everything that is there is the culmination of everything that I have done and achieved over the last decade, at least. And I hold on to it because I'm like, I know I'm not producing events right now, but if I felt the inspiration to, I want to be able to hop back in without having to rebuy materials. I hold on to so many parts of my past lives, and it hit me like, okay, I'm going through all of this with this apartment. I know a move is happening in the very near future, but with everything happening here in the States, like, do I want to be here? Do I want to be here? So I've been just checking, just searching around, seeing where to go, what's affordable. After that confusion in the storage unit, I was really anxious for like the next 24 hours, and I just couldn't figure out why. And I realized that I don't enjoy being in gray areas. I like certainty. It either is or it isn't, right? So as I'm sitting there trying to clear space, trying to figure out what to get rid of, I'm like, all this is contingent on whether or not I stay here or not. Because if I go, I'm getting rid of everything, and I'm not thinking about it. I'm not looking back. I don't care. But so long as I'm here, these things hold value to me. Yeah, that's just a tough space right now. I'm still sitting with that. I think I'm just ready to go. I've been talking about leaving the States and like moving out of this place since my early 20s. It's time. I've spent time out the country. I know what it is. I know where I want to be. I am not afraid. I'm just not afraid. This life is to be lived. Like, life is a verb. Life is a verb. So my week 8 task. Forgive my heavy lisp right now. My mouth is dry and I can't drink water because it's Ramadan. This is torture. But there was an activity called an early patternings exercise, and it asked a couple of fill in the blank questions. And the first question is, as a kid, my dad thought my art was ... That made me feel blank. And then this question made me realize I have written this story out in full. It's a memoir. I want to say it's a memoir I started a few years back that kind of just add to at my leisure when inspired, but I haven't been putting any kind of real focus into it. But this question brought me back to it. It brought something full circle for me. So last week I was talking about my desire to paint, and that not really being a default mode of expression, or hasn't been an area that I've ever really been supported in. Not that it was a goal per se, but just, you want to create, you want to get something out of your spirit, you should be allowed to do that. I kind of want to just drop this story on like Substack and make y'all read, but long story short, it's probably about 4 coloring in my Garfield coloring book, the same one from my week 1 story time. I was just expressing myself, and when my dad got home, I was so excited to show him my coloring book pages, and he just looked at it like, why don't you color in the lines? Gagged I was, because I didn't know that was a thing. I was a kid, so I'm just kind of like scribbling all over. I'm feeling myself. I'm in it. I was proud of it. I remember the next coloring book page I flipped, I made sure to outline the outline, because I didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't want to get caught thinking outside the box, right? So very early on, I was conditioned and programmed to color within the lines. Fall in line. Don't be out the box. And my whole life has been a reclamation of that very moment. I have been trying to fight for my autonomy, for my sovereignty, for my right to have a relationship with the Creator, to listen to the things that come through me and translate them accordingly, regardless of what anybody else thinks. It's not their assignment. So that bit kind of lifted something off of me. Typically, I would shy away from being the beginner, from being the novice. I don't want to be seen appearing that I don't know what I'm doing, because corrections towards me have always been harsh, never helpful, never a suggestion or a better way to go about things. It's just no, you're doing this wrong. And what if I'm just doing it different? What if I'm just doing it my way? I don't draw well. And I think that's also because from that era, when I realized, oh, you got to color in the lines, I started asking my parents for stencils and books on how to draw so that I can copy what other people are doing and stick within the boundaries created for myself. How sad is that? Unpacking that bit just made me want to keep writing that memoir, because there's a lot of lessons tied into just my life experiences. I mean, we all have those things, but I think it's our ability to process it and articulate it to others. So yeah, that early patterning, that was a doozy. One of the tasks was to do a goal search. It wants you to name your dreams, as outlandish as they might be. Then it asks you follow-up questions to help you define and work towards those dreams. So my first dream, I recall when I decided I wanted to be a dance major, I was very inspired by Katherine Dunham. She is a dance ethnographer and the creator of the Dunham technique. So based on her studies and immersion throughout the diaspora, learning dances and culture, she melded them together to create her own dance form and became a historian of sorts for everything that she learned along the way. And when I learned about Katherine Dunham, I'm like, I want to do that. Except I want to travel the world and yes, dance, but I want to learn about the plants and the wildlife and the medicine. And I want to immerse myself in the culture. I want to learn the languages, all of the things. My first dream was in a perfect world. I would secretly love to be an ethnographer with a focus on dance, nature, and recording it via film. And this is ironic to me because coming to this realization, my astrologist 2 years ago told me that when I got in my 40s, I would probably switch over to documentary work. And I was just like, okay, because I was in the middle of like just cracking my narrative story journey. So I wasn't hearing that. But as I go through this process, I can see that because as things are rapidly changing, businesses are closing, hell, whole government agencies are closing, natural parks are being threatened so much. I just feel like it's my duty to take record and record as much as I can from my life experiences, from Black history, from Black queer history. These are the things that they are erasing, and I think in years to come we'll be grateful that someone captured a record of these places or has something to let people know that these people, these places, these things were here. I just don't want things to get forgotten because I realize we're losing recipes because we're not learning from the past. We're not cherishing the things right in front of us. And the only constant is change, so things are changing. But I would like to be revered and respected for the work that I do in documenting the beauty and joys of the diaspora. So that was dream one. It said, write as many of the dreams you got. My second dream is being a TV showrunner. And then they ask you like what are goals that would signal the accomplishment of these things, because it could look different for different people. Some people, being a successful dancer means going on tour with their favorite artist. To somebody else, it could be me being a dance professor at Juilliard. So you have to kind of define what success looks like to you. And for me, that first dream about being the ethnographer, I will know that I have made it when I have been in an international destination somewhere in the diaspora for 4 months or more, and I have immersed myself in the culture. I have friends, I'm learning dances, I am spending time in nature, I'm learning about plants, and recording the whole process and filming it and working on capturing life. Hi, friend. Sorry, one of my crows is over here. I want to give him then the showrunner dreams. The proof would be me running my own original series, namely Black Magic. That would be I've made it. And then they ask who your role models are. And in that one, definitely Issa Rae, definitely Quinta Brunson. They have done and are continuing to do exactly what I would like to, putting their original shows out on super large networks and having full creative control. That's the goal. I already mentioned that Katherine Dunham is my role model for the other. And this week was capacity. And during the height of the COVID pandemic, I, for lack of better words, was homeless. And my friend Lee let me move in and take a couch while I got myself together. And watching this man work made me realize that I wasn't maximizing on myself. I watched this man get up, honor his morning routine, take anywhere from 7 to 10 work or creative calls a day. If something came up, he'd squeeze it in, he'd make time. He hit deadlines for other people. He was project managing projects, multiple. We were all collectively working on the first virtual DC Black Pride. So there was just a lot going on. And from that, I stepped my pussy up. In that era, I began black magic. In that era, I released a coloring book. A coloring book, y'all. Kink and color. Again, this whole drawing bit. I kicked my life into high gear. I started taking the Hoe Hive more seriously. I became a better business operator. And since then, I will say I've lost a lot of that. I don't have anybody to keep me accountable. And you know, when you're around someone, it's not competition, but you're like, oh no, I'm not going to let this person see me slipping. So you show up. And now I'm realizing that showing up is 100% dependent on me and no one else. So I realized yesterday that I was not maximizing on my capacity right now. So many lessons, guys. After you dissect your goals and your dreams, it asks you to reverse engineer, starting from 5 years out, moving back to the now. So that's where I am, and that has set the tone for my day and my to-do list. Wait. So I have made the choice to no longer call the things that I need to do a to-do list. Instead, now it is my ta-da list. Right? Isn't that cute? That just seems like so much less pressure, right? It seems magical versus dutiful. So the ta-da list, that's where we are, okay? I have lots of things to do to work towards these goals. Like there are tangible things I can do in the now to push me towards these things. I know who I am. I've long known who I am. I am just now removing the blockages within me and around me that stop me from living in that truth at all times. Oh, I know I was supposed to drop my website on my birthday, but I have since discovered a new platform, so I'm about to start all the way over and redo my portfolio, redo my website, and I will report back. I want to do so much, guys. There's only so many hours in the day. And last time I paid somebody to do my website, I didn't like it, and that was a 4-digit purchase. So I'm going to leave it in my creative control because I know me and I know what I want. And I submitted a short story for an anthology sometime last year, and they got back to me yesterday offering some feedback. So, progress. I'm a writer. Thank you for checking in with me for week 8 of The Artist Way, and I'll see you guys next week.